The layer's a hard place to live. Real hard. Ain't no soft landing nowhere in here. You either catch on quick, or this place chew on you slow. This life don't hand out directions. Just wait. Just pressure sitting on your chest every morning. Folks think trouble kicked the door in. Nah. Trouble slick. Trouble got perfume on. Smiling at you like it already know your name, already in the room when you walk in. That's the slings and arrows, you don't hear them fly, you just feel that sting and wonder where it came from. Whole layer wrapped in dark mystery. Old magic in the walls. Wizards whispering deals they don't keep. Dragons watching from the shadows, counting bodies like loose change. Succubus love looks sweet at first, then you wake up lighter than you went to sleep. Heart tax, soul pawn. It's war out here. Quiet war. Betrayal wear silk and smile real nice. Same cats break bread with you. Be the one selling your name 2 streets over. This whole thing a stone cold trip, baby. No fair fights, no refunds. So whatever shield you walk around with, it better be battle tested. Not shiny. Not shiny. Not fresh out the armory, I'm talking chip paint. Bent edges. Blood you couldn't wash off even if you tried. Cause the layer don't care how fly you look in your armor. They care what's still holding when the smoke drifts off. If you still here tomorrow, still breathing, still standing on your square, then yeah, you's a bad mother. Shut your mouth.
Night's layer.
Hello, Almanize. see. Freak Mob Chronicles, an interview with Reese. 14 minutes. I never understand the made up languages, but shout out to the shout outs. What are we going to get to in 12 minutes? What are we talking about? Is there a book trying to be sold? Freak Mob Media. It would help if I put it on screen, wouldn't it? We had a whole conversation. Let's start all over again. Mm-mm-mm.
Welcome to the Mind of the Exoticpreneur, where defining your purpose is when we're pride. Now, I think I just met my kindred spirit over here because she knows some things that I was like, if you know, you know. And she had to quit me. She had to check my. She had to check my medicinal energy to make sure it was that pure shit and not that bullshit. You feel what I'm saying? So, without further ado, I don't want to introduce because she's gonna let me know who the fuck she's, because she's in the freak line. Let them know.
Here. Reese's Pieces, chilling at Freak Bob's Move.
How do they spell that? I don't want to fuck it
Freak
up.
Bob's Move.
I know you're gonna freak my move. I'm talking
No,
about
no,
the
no. I
Reese's.
said it wrong the first time.
Freak mob.
No, no, no. I said Freak Bob's Move.
She's warm.
Start over.
But we gotta love. See, this is what you call real energy, because if you can't laugh,
My schmurds don't be smurting.
I need my smurder.
My words don't be smurting.
Yeah. This is the language I was talking about. She started speaking.
Yes, ma'am.
Friend of a friend. I have a friend that's in the music industry.
Okay.
And he's friends with somebody that's in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
So the first person I actually shot any kind of content with was Hectech.
Mm,
Hi, Hectech. He's
hey.
the first person I shot any kind of content with.
So what made you want to make it make
Money.
sense to you? Okay. It's not the money. Money is
Money,
good.
and I'm good at sex.
Really good at sex.
My track record speaks for me.
Hey man. Hey man.
In fact,
Reese's
everybody's
Pieces.
asking me to come back.
Track record. What does that mean? Comic section. She a beast. I saw Reese Peasy and clicked so fast. Legend. Aquarius gang. I love that dark side in her. Hi, people trying to sound deep. At 10 minutes is Lord have mercy. Happy birthday to my favorite. The best. Happy birthday. Boricua Mommy. Serious question. Why bro got that padded elbow sleeve on? How can I meet her? I think she meant watch your necks. Check your chin. Let's get back to it.
Speaks for me.
Listen, she
I'm
said
not
it's
coming
not
back.
it's
I'm
not the
sorry.
first time, it's the callback.
Yeah,
section.
I'm not coming back. I'm
If
so
you
sorry.
can't get it in and say something, and a motherfucker say, hey, could you come back and do when you get it the next day?
Yeah, no,
then
I can't do
baby,
I can't do that. Cannot do it.
ATMKC. This is Stanley coming in hot. What's going on, Stanley? Zoomer.
But
it started sliding out.
we had a little slide. Little,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Because when it's heavy,
It's heavy.
yeah. Yes, yeah, she's sending out something that's nice.
I got a Tonka dump truck.
I'm glad I bench press. You feel me?
Right.
Because you can handle it. Yeah, so because the callback game is real, the re-rock, they don't spin the block, they come in re-rock, right? What made you want to stay? What allowed you, when did you know it was real for you? And how long have you been in?
Hit me.
It hasn't hit you yet?
It hasn't hit me.
And how long have you been in?
5 years?
5 years?
Well, I was 5 years. I've been retired for a year now.
You've been retired for a year. So doing that tenure.
Tenure is crazy.
Yeah. Well, I'm 3 times older than that. And
I'm just saying, my birthday is Tuesday.
Scorpio,
depending on what day y'all see this, wish me happy birthday no matter what.
Scorpios out here.
Huh?
My daughter's a Scorpio.
I'm a Scorpio.
I know. Fire. Well, y'all actually a water sign.
We are
hot than the motherfucker. Shout out to my mini Scorpio and then my personal Scorpio.
Shout out to Aquariuses. I love y'all.
Somebody
I love y'all. Shout out to the Libras.
Mind you,
to the Scorpios and the Sagittarius.
Pause. Mind you, I never told her my sign.
Cancers and Leos. I fuck with y'all.
But Aquarius is still
Leos, y'all really intense though. Y'all are really.
I don't get that whole astrology conversation. What up, LA? What was this? Oh, they must be on the vertical side. Let me see. All the live. Almonds, LA, T, and KC. What up, CK? I saw some. They must be on the vertical side. And Will 48. Let me go see something. I really don't be on the vertical side. You have to come to the landscape side. That's the chat I'm typically in. But I see we got one person on the vertical side. Let me see. Doo-doo-doo. What are these hot sauces? Yeah. Get back to the vertical side. She says she's a professional.
He's for the hood. And still classy as fuck. No, he got it. I got hella love for Freak Mob. Anytime he asks me, except for making contact, because I'm not anything. Anytime he asks me to come out here, I will always be here.
So what pulled you away from the industry?
I had a car accident.
Oh my. Yeah. Lessons that's all.
I had a car accident.
Glad that you share here for us.
Everybody thinks it happened because of something else. But I had a car accident.
Ooh.
And that I was already gonna leave the industry.
Okay.
Because I'm in way too much pain. My back is chopped, jacked. It checked out.
Okay. So what is it about the industry? If you was to give advice from people that want to
set your boundaries early. Set your boundaries early and stand on them. Men, women, set your boundaries early. Don't let nobody cross them. Stand 10 toes down on that shit. And don't let nobody disrespect you. Don't let nobody disrespect you. Demand respect. Don't ask for it.
Listen, now she just said something that was officially put in here. She said, demand respect, don't ask for it.
You demand respect. If you're there for a reason, you demand respect.
What did I say right there?
Respect is earned, never given out. Demand it.
She said demand it. She said
earned it, demand it.
She said never earned it. She said demand it here.
Don't never let somebody talk to you any type of way.
She said
you put in work in this industry, you deserve respect from people in the industry because we all putting in work. Watch your mouth and check your neck.
It's lessons to this shit. It's levels to this shit. Hey, listen.
I say like to watch your mouth and check your neck because you might lose it.
There it is right there. See,
it's gangster everywhere, huh? Watch your mouth and check your neck. She's out the industry because her back is messed up. 5-year career. Let's go.
Batman or Superman?
Batman.
Why?
He has a contingency plan for everything and doesn't have any superpowers. And it's still a problem.
That part. Harley Quinn or Joker?
I was never a weak bitch, so definitely Joker. Because I feel like Harley Quinn was low-key a weak bitch to sacrifice herself for a man that never really interested in her. Yeah. I love her though. She's psychotic.
I don't really know that much about her. I've seen her before. Shout out to Harley Quinn. We talking about superheroes.
Yeah. It's dark. Definitely Shadow.
Love the Shadow. What is it about the Shadow that entices you, that attracts you to him?
Because I like the fear.
What about the fear?
I like that I can see it in other people. I can see the trauma. I can see the darkness. I can see the pain. But I also know how to help them get through it.
Share some here. It's something about.
I've been through enough darkness myself and pulled myself back out of it that I can help other people. You can't help me because you haven't been through what I've been through.
Is that the force field that you developed or have created?
It's more so an aura.
Yeah.
Because it's like if you're fuckery, you're gonna know to stay away from me. But I will treat you like my child. I will mother you. I will take care of you. I will look out for you. Mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. I will make sure you're okay. And I will take care of you. It's probably my one toxic trait. I want to take care of everybody. I want to make sure everybody feels loved and safe, and I can't do that.
Mm. Let's move forward. Links in the description. Y'all know how we do it over here. Links will be in the description. She says she deal with pain now. She looks very comfortable. It's not overproduced. And she's retired and coming there to give advice to new potential stars. Let me see. We're moving from her to Crimson. Make sure everything is on stage.
Perspective. I'm not going to waste too much time because I ran up on a couple of videos that I need to talk about. We need to talk. We really need to talk. And we need to talk because is there no other way that these women can figure out how to make a dollar, how to make it, how to sustain themselves, how to pay their own bills, how to take care of themselves outside of selling that box? Because I thought about it. With feminism, this was supposed to be a time where women were highlighted for something other than our sexual service to men. Basically, women were supposed to be highlighted in feminism beyond their quote unquote service to men, beyond being wives, that you know, and doing all the housework. And
yeah, but it was or at least I keep hearing them say you're supposed to be beyond the do and beyond the wives because that's slavery and whatever else. But then you got this liberation that you got to match what the men do. Men can do it, so she can do it too. And in fact, empower that behavior, support it legally, make the women be able to sell it. And the only person that's the bad person is the buyer. Or at least that's all the people I've been looking at recently.
that's a service to men, beyond being child bearers only, beyond being sexually objectified by men or preyed upon sexually by men. So feminism was supposed to be a movement. Supposedly, this was the Kool-Aid that was sold. Supposedly, women were supposed to utilize better access to education, better access to jobs and the ability to have income, access to being able to own properties, have inheritance, and all of these things outside of their husbands. They didn't need their husband's permission anymore to have bank accounts and to have credit cards and to all of these different things. So as the years have gone by, the barriers to entry for women to fully immerse themselves in society, supposedly how the men were ingratiated, right? Men had all the autonomy in the world, right? Men didn't have to wait on women to do anything. That was supposed to be the concepts that feminism was built upon, that the men had complete autonomy of their lives. They could choose what jobs they had. They could choose whether or not they wanted to pursue higher education or not. They could determine on their own unilaterally where they worked or how they worked or what kind of money that they were able to earn or what kind of property they were able to buy, or if they gained an inheritance from their family members, they could dispose of it as they saw fit, did not need anybody's permission, certainly didn't need a woman's permission at all.
So that's what the reverse is supposed to be, for them to have that same power. That will be the empowerment. So she's not sleeping with you to please you. She's sleeping with you to please her. So you basically become Jacqueline, Robin Williams. I mean, no, Robin, what was her name? Robin Givens. Or let me see. The Gaborses was famous for getting divorces. I think you throw Diana Ross in there and Tina Turner and Nikki Giovanni and Angela Davis and all of them people. It's about autonomy and freedom. And some folks be so aggressive with it that it be seeming like they really don't like men. The people that say that they're feminists, a lot of the ones that I listen to and look at, yeah, they really seem like they don't like men.
Right? He could vote. He could do all of these different things, right? That women at one point in time were restricted from doing and participate in society in a way that women were restricted from participating in society. Now, feminism said that because there were so many barriers to entry for women in these same spaces and to participate into society the same way that men did, that's the reason why women were relegated to these lower roles of housewife and mother and just being an object of sexual release for their husbands. You know, women were not to be regarded in any way, basically the second or third class citizen. Right? Right? Because farm animals had more rights. Right? That was the bill that was sold. And so with the inception of women's suffrage, the women's suffrage movement, then second wave feminism, sexual liberation movement, that's where it really went off the rails. And then all the iterations of feminism since then. Women have had an unprecedented availability to go to school, to gain an education, to go and get jobs, start businesses, have income, have ownership of their homes and of their possessions, of their own assets in their name, whether they were married or not. And then it was women's turn to not have to have a man, her father, her husband's permission in order to have things or to own things or to do things, right?
And we all got vilified, and that's the vilification we listen to now. Yeah, with the law. What are we doing? we have to think about the overall picture with all this stuff and listen to a lot of what these people be saying around y'all. Let me see. It ain't easy. I want to pin this to the top. Yeah, I don't believe. Wait a minute, did I put it in here double and then? I don't believe the women became men. Unpin, I don't see it pinned. Let me see. Let's redo it then. Unpin. Let me see. Pin. It's not pinning it to the top. So let's see. Why is it not doing this? 17 minutes ago. So unpin. Pin. It's always something with the StreamYard. So remove. Now both have been removed. Let's try this one more time. Now, pin the message. Say it's pinned, but I don't see it up there. I don't know what it's doing. It says go to channel. Let's see what happens if we do that. Go to channel. Mm-mm-mm. 14 people. It is not pinned. Unpin. Remove. Paste. Pin message. Still didn't go to the top. Oh well.
So with all of this freedom that a feminist will argue you down about, and with all the vast majority of all barriers to entry have been removed, women are free to enter into society more or less the same way that men do. They can even take hard labor jobs. Now, women don't want to take those jobs, but I mean, if you want to sign up and you want to take those jobs, some of those jobs, construction jobs or whatever, they might take 1 or 2 women. Who knows, right? So I'm saying all of this to say this. With all of this so-called fighting for women's rights that women did, and feminism is supposed to be this great liberating, this great equalizer of how women show up in society versus how men show up in society, why is it that even after all this feminism and after all of these barriers to entry to participate in society have been removed, y'all can't figure out nothing to do but sell coochie in order to make it? Why? Riddle me that, Batman. With all of this education, with all of this ability to own a business, to run a business, to have a job, to earn higher income, why y'all can't never figure out nothing but let me sell this cat to make ends meet, or to make money, or to feed myself and feed my family? Why come y'all can't do it? And I'm gonna show y'all the video that made me think about it. Hit the like button if you have not hit the like button. When you come in, we are going to show these videos. Let me see. Now, it's a two-parter. It's a two-parter. Mind you, there's a lot of foul language here, so just understand that. Okay?
Ain't it funny how your people be the main ones telling you don't be a hoe. You don't gotta suck dick. You don't gotta do nothing. You can ask us for help. And I turn around and I ask y'all niggas for help, and what you tell me? You don't have friends. You don't got nobody else to ask. I do. And I can suck a dick for it. But you told me to stop doing that because you got me, right? You don't got me. Oh yeah, my brother was up there. Oh, go find your way. Go trust God. Not these niggas. Well, guess what? God sent me these niggas. It's so fucking frustrating. I get a new job, right? I get a new job. Everybody, bitch, stop being a whore, Gina. Stop sucking dick, Gina. Be a mother, Gina. Work for what you want, Gina. Okay, I go get a motherfucking job. And what happened?
You need a guy like Stanley that can help you figure out exactly what things to read or places to go to get you a better job. I heard what they lost 600,000 jobs recently. Some people act like that's a badge of honor, like that's a good thing. We need both people to be empowered. I don't think it should be about crippling women and taking them back to the 50s or the 40s or the 30s or whenever.
Can you watch my baby? I don't know. Can you pick up my baby and take it to my mama's? No, I got life. No, I can't. No, I can't. Can you give me $20 so I can pay a babysitter while you got a job? You know what? I didn't have these problems when I was sucking dick, though. Hell, I can leave my baby in here with a motherfucking Peppa Pig episode. Before that bitch even finished the intro, dick sucked, ready to go. Mommy got $400. Let's go shopping. I did it. I stopped being a whore. Now what? I'm just so sick. I'm just so sick of this shit. Like, I don't want to quit my job because I like my job. I like my job. I really do. I like everybody I work with too. But everyone, my family, no, they don't want me to be a slut. No, don't do that. No, but don't ask us for help. No, you definitely can't do that. Ain't it funny how your people be the...
Okay, so that
it seems like a lot of anger, big mad energy. Let me see. What are we doing? We are changing this. There we go. Yeah. How can you get people to stop having shopping therapy though? Soon as she get the bread, yeah, she going to spend it. No saving and making them early sacrifice and putting money away. And even in those situations, you got to have money behind money behind money behind money. Understand taxes. Understand where to put all of the everything. It's all just a one big Ponzi scheme. It seems like.
That was part one. That was part one. I understand why folks say women were restricted from doing things as men did them, but to what degree? How was Madam C.J. Walker, as a Black woman at that time, become a millionaire? That's a one-off. Exceptions prove the rule. First of all, no matter how free a society is, the majority of people are not going to be the wealthiest people. Madam C.J. Walker is an exception because not only was she a woman, she was Black.
What's going on, No Chaser? No Chaser, Zoomer, Almond, Stanley. I heard earlier today after I ended my show, our good friend Savage called me Jabba the Hutt. He was going off on you too, Stanley. Are people, I mean, listen, when I say crying, I don't mean crying. And when people say I'm crying, I don't really give it too much credit. What do you mean by cry? Because I mean, just simply observing something, I think most of this stuff you should take with a grain of salt. Like folks be saying I be doing stuff and I be like, I know for a fact I am not talking to no young people on here. And the one person that we do know is young, I know for a fact I'm not talking to that young lady. And on a respectful level, it's a child, even if she is 21 or whatever. If you pay attention to me, I talk more to older people on here. I don't really try to say nothing too wild to nobody under the age of 30. And the stuff I'm saying to the ones that's 29 and 30, I don't understand why it's offensive. Rap music is this. Mostly every movie is cursing like when I saw almost every panel is. I cannot touch you. All I can do is talk. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not saying, I'm not trying to emasculate when I say somebody's crying. I'm just saying that why are we focusing on it? I forget what I was looking at. I was probably reviewing. I don't remember. But yeah, I may come into a conversation that somebody's having specifically directly with someone. But when I come in, I'm probably just hearing that what the basic conversation is. But I'm not talking to any particular person on said panel. Because most of these people in this space is married, aren't they? Or in relationships. So yeah, I don't know how people get it twisted, even though I may be talking about something within the realm of that thing. I'm not talking about any specific individuals. A couple of people freaked out. And I thought one of them was 30-something, the other one was 29. I apologize because they were upset. But I don't feel like a weird ass man talking to a grown person. It makes me weird. And what am I saying? I'm an old fat man.
There were Black male millionaires at that time too, but we're not going to say that they were not restricted against heavily for being Black. And that millionaire status came with a whole lot of pain. Right? It came with a whole lot of pain.
Yeah. When you have the money in the family, you might be the only one with the money in the family. And if you do have a good heart, being a people pleaser can go backfire on you. Just look at MC Hammer. Took care of all of them people. Then when stuff went left, it was like, oh well. I think a lot of folks just don't understand money. Like, for instance, they talk about like football players and stuff have like a 5-year window after their career before they go broke. I don't know what it is about living within your means or living reasonably. Like somebody was saying, well, if you had this amount of money, you know what you would do? I would live within my means. I don't need no new car. I don't really care. And because I've been in some decent cars before, but I really don't care as long as the thing can get me from point A to point B. And it's not a gas guzzler. And I don't need a foreign. I don't wear jewelry because I can't keep it. Even when I was younger and I had these rings and stuff, I would leave it in a motel room or something. I would take my earrings off because it would snag on things. I would take my necklaces off because it would snag on my beard and whatever else. So I'm not really into jewelry like that. But shout out to the people that, you know, go through that whole production.
For them. So yes, there have always been Black people who were able to break out of the mold, to come out of the poverty, to be able to make better for themselves and things of that nature.
What's going on, Lord ADS?
But again, that is the exception, not the rule. So we're going to go to part 2.
A lot of y'all are in my DMs asking where the baby's daddy. Bitch, I'll tell you the truth. For a long time, I lied to everybody and told them, like, oh, my son's father was dead. Because I just didn't want to deal with anybody questioning why I'm a single mother. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't have the heart to tell nobody, hey, bitch, I fucked 4 niggas in 1 week and I don't know who the daddy is. And I hit them all up. None of them responded. I mean, well, 3 of them responded. The other one didn't give a shit.
But look at the... Look at that. You know, not to be so judgy, but look at that. How important is that sexual liberation?
One of them wanted me to marry him. The other one was getting deported. And the other one, we tested him. He ain't the daddy. And I'm not going through that shit again. But my friends always ask me, what are you going to tell your son when he asks, where's my dad? And honestly, I'm going to lie. I'm going to lie. I'm going to tell my son, your dad was a war veteran. Your dad died saving 27 children out of an orphanage burning. He was a firefighter, a veteran, a pilot. I'm going to set his fucking goals so goddamn high. I'm going to make it sound like his daddy was the best motherfucker on the planet, even though that might not be true. But I'd rather my son have the idea that his dad was someone great than my dad was just some nigga my mama slept with. No. I want my child to look at me and respect me as a woman. Although I didn't respect myself in the past. That was my past. I wasn't a mother then. I'm a mother now.
Do you respect yourself now? This will be around for people to see. Do you respect yourself now? Or is it just that the people that want to have relations have to have money? Is it very transactional?
So I'd rather my child look at me with the idea of my mom is a bad bitch. My mom is a survivor, a warrior. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather my son have an idea of a woman of the woman I want to be. You get what I'm saying? Because we all know that a lot of boys go for who their mama is. You know what I'm saying? So if they got a mama that's a hoe, she don't give a fuck about herself, her body, you know what I'm saying? They usually go for hoes. You know what I'm saying? And then the boys who have like a real nice, poised, proper mama, and I'm not saying this is all men, but a lot of men who have poised, proper mamas and like real ladylike mamas, they go for women who are ladylike. Am I making sense? I think I am. Same goes with fathers. When a man has a father who is good, a good dad, a good father, a good man in general, you usually get a good son. Not all the time, but usually you get a good son out of it. All right. But when we have boys who have shitty daddies, maybe daddies that wasn't even there, maybe daddies who never gave a fuck about them, maybe daddies who made it clear they did not fuck with their kids, you get a shitty little boy. Not all the time, but it happened. So
she seems so upset. If you don't care who you choose and you sleep with the 4 and then you apply pressure to the 4 that wasn't tripping because you wasn't tripping, how do you then paint folks as bad or ain't ish, as she just said?
yes, I will be lying to my child. I will be setting the standards high for my child. I do not care. I don't give a fuck. Call me wrong. Hate me for it. Tell me I'm a bad mom. That's fine. But in my mind, I'm the greatest mom there ever will be because I want to set my son up for success. And yeah, okay, his life may be a lie. He'll find out when I'm dead who I really was. But as of right now, my son will see me as the best person the strongest bitch in his life. I want my son to find a woman who is just as strong as me. She can have a checkered past. I ain't nobody to judge. I probably done what she did and worse. But at the end of the day, I want my son to have somebody that is strong-minded. And
how can that be good for him? How can that be good for him? I don't know, man. I do know. It's unfortunate.
It's gonna keep pushing. You get what I'm saying? I don't want my son seeking out no weak bitch. Just because I was a weak bitch when I got pregnant with him does not mean he is destined to be with weak bitches. Does that make sense? A lot of y'all are in my DMs.
And you don't want to know the sad part? You want to know the sad part? In a weird way, she right. And I'm going to break that down for you.
She has to be conscious of it and not allow that to happen. She can't say the girl can be just as bad as me and we can ignore her past.
In a weird way, she not completely off base. Because what she's really saying is, I know for all of the crap that I popped, I know all my decisions was bad. All of them. From screwing 4 dudes in 1 week and not knowing who the father was. And she said something real key. One of the men wanted to marry her. So if one of the men wanted to marry you, knowing that you was calling men to try to figure out who the father of your son was, then what was with all the crocodile tears about how your family wouldn't help you? When you had the potential, this woman who admittedly is a whore, who admits on everybody's internet that she's
the guy that she wanted didn't want her. They say it all the time. They willing to go through whatever because they not going to settle. the guy that she wanted didn't want her.
A whore had an opportunity
What up, Rapid?
to get married to at least one of them men. This woman had an opportunity to get married to at least one of these men. Now we don't know the status of that man or whatever. It's really irrelevant, to be honest with you. She denied the help that she would have been able to receive from at least one of these men who said, I can do that. I can do that. She didn't say nothing to this man. It didn't happen. She would have rather struggle and live a lie and make her son live a lie rather than to subdue herself and get with the guy that wanted.
Yes. This is exactly what she did. And this is exactly what we hear from now on. Well, and that's why I say, first, that's a lifestyle you in. And usually birds of a feather flock together. So it's probably people, definitely, encouraging that lifestyle. When I say some of the stuff that they used to say back when we were young, they'd be like, you lying. Ain't no woman said that. Okay. Literally used to say, not we're going to the club, we're going hoeing. Hoeing ain't hard.
To marry her and help her out. Now she want to sit on the internet and boo-hoo about how her family doesn't want to, quote unquote, help her, or they don't want to babysit the kid. That's your kid. They telling you not to be a hoe because you shouldn't be a hoe. Not because they're going to stop their life to help you rectify your bad decisions. Because how much opportunity did you have before you had this child to go to school, get some type of work, go figure out how to get some income that you were earning to pay for your life, pay your bills, pay your rent, pay your light, pay your gas. Basic bills. We ain't talking about nothing extravagant. Your basic bills. Why you couldn't do that prior to getting bogged down with a child at a young age? You know she had that baby young. So did you drop out of school? Was you running around here being fast tail? And I agree with you. I agree. But is she worthy of more than that? Is she worthy of a better man than that? Because those are the...
She believes so. She believes so. And others believe so. Don't be concerned about their body counts. Don't be concerned about how they party. And they deserve the best once the party's over with.
Men she slept with. And one of them men she gave a baby to. Replicated them right in her womb. She didn't deserve better than the type of man who would know that she's trying to figure out who a baby daddy is and whether he was the baby daddy or not. He got to talk about he was going to try to marry her. She don't deserve no better man than that. So I agree with your statement. Because who is this dude? That's who she laid down with. That's who she wanted. She don't deserve a better man than that. He was the simp out of the bunch. And she ain't really like him like that. That's why she ain't take him up on it.
There we go.
So then in this second part of the video, she's talking about the reason that she want to lie to her son is because she can't tolerate him to look at her for who she is. And that fuels a lot of these women who become mothers lying to their children and then hiding their past from their children, whether they have sons or daughters. So when they have daughters, they hide their past and they don't warn their daughters about the mistakes that they made because they don't want to be held accountable for those mistakes. And their children necessarily can't hold them accountable, but their children will judge them based on all of those past decisions.
For sure. So when you get to talking about you too young, you had me when you were young. You get to talking to them about responsibility, they get to sit telling you back. You were irresponsible.
So she doesn't want to be judged. She's trying to make it out to be a situation where she's trying to be noble for her son, but that's not the case. Her whole thing, her whole spiel was about protecting her image because she knows her image is bad. Because she knows all of them all of those decisions that she made, hoeing out, sucking D, screwing this one, that one, not paying no attention, letting dudes hit it raw, all that crazy that she was doing. She knows that no boy would ever respect it. She knows that her son will not respect her. She know that. So she called herself trying to protect her image that she messed up, an image that she messed up. She did all that foolishness. And so when he asked about his dad, I'm going to try to make sure to tell him that his dad was, you know what I'm saying, all that in a bag of chips. All, mind you, to cover her tracks. This is not something that she's trying to do to make some imaginary man look good. You can't break a generational curse with a lie. You cannot break a generational curse with a set of lies.
Especially when you have this documented for the other kids at school to see. Is this your mother? Look what she said.
That is not how you break a generational curse. Generational curses can only be broken through telling the truth and taking the accountability and taking the judgment that come with that. So when your son get old enough to hear that,
what up, Red Pill?
From you, because he might be too small to have any kind of conversation like that right now. But what women like her don't get is that children see more than you think they see. It's not about what you tell kids. It's about what they see. Because if you're going to be a hoe, you're going to move like a hoe. If you have not had any kind of spiritual reformation, you still gonna move like a hoe. And your son is going to see that, especially as he get older, to understand. Wait a minute, there's too many men coming in and out of here. What the men want with my mama? He gonna eventually put 2 and 2 together. It's gonna equal 4, and he gonna be disgusted. Little boys who watch their single mothers traffic men in and out of their house like a revolving door become disgusted with their mothers. They resent their mothers. And many of them take that resentment into women. Because just like when I said, when I was talking about the woman who mother lied about her dad, remember that video I did just early this week? And that woman got abandonment issues. And then remember when I said no man is above her dad? See, for a man, it's difficult for women to be above his mama. So if his mama was a hoe, he don't like hoes. And he don't respect hoes. No other woman is gonna be able to not be a hoe in his eyes. For the majority. Every woman is gonna be like that. Because his mother, who's supposed to be the paragon of womanhood and femininity and what a woman is, this one was a whore. This one was a whore. Ain't no way these other women aren't just as shady or worse. And my mama lied to me about her whoredom as well. I had to find it out. I had to figure it out. So these other women are...
It's not going to be hard to figure it out when it's confessions online. If
are all whores. I don't care what kind of front she put, because if his mother lies to him and try to put on a front like she's this wholesome woman that she is not, he's not going to believe a lioness. He's not going to believe no lioness if she come to him wholesome. She's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. He going to take her down through there. She going to have to go through 15 years of him taking her through there to prove her loyalty to him. And by that time, he gonna be done damaged that woman so bad.
Eesh. That's crazy. That's crazy. Feminism and sexual liberation was supposed to be protecting and creating legislation and doing all this other stuff that's supposed to be positive. This young lady deciding to be a whore or a prostitute or whatever you want to call her, I don't know that you can completely blame it on feminism and sexual liberation, but is it the case that if you give somebody an inch, they'll take a mile? That power corrupts and absolute power corrupts? Absolutely. If I can do it, I'm gonna try it. How long do you make her suffer? She sounds like she did all the stuff when she was really young, and she sounds upset right now. But how long do people make her suffer? How long does she punish herself? And how much is her concern about the people that, she brings? Is it about making sure the son feels some kind of way? Is it about making sure their daughter feels some kind of way? More importantly, do they actually feel loved, or is it just years and years of you beating up on yourself and them suffering through looking at what you're going through? How can they tell if the man is being bad to you, society's being bad to you? A lot of people want to love their mother.
Because what woman can be better than his mama? What woman gonna have gonna make a more of an impression about women to him than his mom? And she planning on lying to this little boy, make him live a whole lie, make him live in a delusion. What does she think is going to happen when the mask falls, when the illusion goes away? Because it will. It absolutely will. What's going to happen? And many times children marry their parents, whether that's good, bad, or indifferent. Marry a woman. He'll mess around and marry a woman that is a whore and that was trying to perpetrate off like she wasn't. Break his heart. Just break his heart. Just, I thought this woman was this thing and she not. She this thing. And he not going to know how to respond.
Hopefully not the crazy ways people are responding nowadays. Yeesh. If your heart isn't in it, why couldn't you tell me so? And again, it's about if this lady get therapy, if this lady accepts what that is and don't continue to do it no more, if that lady can get past that lifestyle and that kind of, because she came on there talking about it's just easier for her to go out there and go through there. She said she thought the family was going to help. The family wasn't helping, but the easiest way for her to get it is, get low, 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 low.
How could she do that to me? It's difficult. It's difficult. It's not impossible, but it's difficult. It takes healing from the child, the boy or the girl, to grow up and understand that my parents are human beings. And they may not have been good people. They may not have been just the worst character of people. Maybe they didn't abuse me. Maybe they didn't. But when you start looking at them as people, as men and women, rather than mother and father, you start understanding. Listen, my mama and my daddy was some broken people, for real. And it's a wonder that I'm not in the gutter because of that.
Yeah, but that's a lot to expect from somebody under the age of 25. You get much older before you start realizing, oh, she was just a girl and he was just a boy, and they just, because both people be protecting themselves when it come down to it. You're going to hear some half-truths here and some half-truths there. Let me see now. Who that fox? Who that man? You are now witnessing greatness.
how to do it, not how you know when you're doing it. You don't know, and you won't know unless you have what it is.
Nah, that was fine. That was fine. It makes sure it keeps you accountable. Accountability is everything. So
incredible. You can't cheat.
Great.
You go all the way down and all the way up, and that's one solid rep. Good money.
That's it. It's no arguing, no debating, no questioning. All the way down, all the way up. You got to start and finish the same way.
We jump from the story to physical fitness. Unlock your VIP exclusive offer.
Whole chest muscle system, your pecs, your deltoids, all of that, part of your tricep, all of that is there to be worked in a push-up. And if you're doing a form wrong, those muscle groups are not being worked properly. So, like I said, your elbows, your wrists are taking a punishment from trying to do them real fast, not doing the full range, and all of those sorts of things. So that's what the proper push, one of the things that the proper push does is standardize that. No more, oh, I don't know if I did it or not, da-da-da-da-da. You either did the rep or you didn't. It does not allow cheating.
Let's move forward. Let's see. Her link. PXA. Copy. I need a hero. Gotta be fast, gotta be strong, gotta be there for the fight. So we started off with them. Oh, there's something more for. Okay. Guess this right. Let me see. HT. All right. Let's go here. Dun, 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 dun. Remove. Dun, 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 dun. Share.
Hi, I'm Brandy Williams, founder of Williams Accounting and Tax Services in McDonough, Georgia.
Listen, middleman to millions, want to stop crying about how America is and how you broke and how gas high. Every day this week, I've stopped somewhere to get food or get drink or get coffee. And they'd be like, did you see the gas? Did you see the gas? And I'd be like, yeah. Y'all, I literally, this ain't telling on myself, but I stuck my card in the machine to get gas. I pulled the handle, have the little lock, and I walked off and went to the store to go get an energy drink. I didn't need it, but I got it anyway. And I came back, the gas was spilling. This man was like, oh my God, honey, I grabbed it for you. So it was a little spill inside the car. I had to go wash the car. If you would have seen the faces of like horror that the old Black people around the gas stations were looking like, oh, my poor baby, you should see if they give you a refund. You should go back inside and say the gas pump spilled. And I was like, damn, y'all that down bad that the gas, I spilled the gas. They have a right to charge me for the gas. Y'all got to let this go. Y'all got to calm down. If you see people's face, America runs on cheap gas. I keep telling y'all this. So again, you can grab the land grab community. It's not just a course, it's a community. We're in there talking about auctions. We're talking about a lot of different things. The schedule will be improved. It will be a land grab training on a Wednesday, I think coming up this week. But I just want you to understand we had to move it to Wednesday because it's a really impactful class. We end up spending 2 hours talking about land and flipping and house stuff. So go check it out. Y'all know what it is. Let's get into it. Okay. You see the title. You can't cheat the game just as this thing in America's over. Now I'm gonna do a little rant about mixed people. I know you're gonna be like, Erica, no, not mixed people. I have to do it. Kimora Lee Simmons is staying inside of a house. Her billionaire, supposedly billionaire husband, okay, got money. Okay, now that was so important, they put it on The Real Deal, which is the TMZ of real estate. If you don't know, I've talked about it a lot. You even got Raggedy over here talking about it. Let me pull her up real quick. And the reason I bring this up is Kimora Lee can't cheat the game. She's like all other mixed people I've ever met in my life. The most important combination about her is she's mixed. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the most important thing about her is she's mixed. She's 50 something years old. I don't give a damn. We don't give a damn. Men don't give a damn anymore. Right? They're exotic. That plays out at 32. I'm telling y'all don't believe me. I grew up in military towns, Alaska, Germany. My brother did Japan. My daddy was born in Japan. My uncle was born in Japan. My grandparents married in Japan, stayed in Japan 7 years. I lived in Maryland, lived in Alabama. I lived in a lot of states, Texas. Just because I don't name all the places I stayed and lived, you just don't know. And a lot of these kids, what happens is their most important thing, and I'll agree with Aaron Clary and a lot of white red pillars online, whatever, that the most important trait was that you were mixed, or you were a girl, or you're a boy, or you're gay, right? I remember 2 Puerto Rican kids at our high school, both were gay. And we were like, how is two people in a family gay? Who touched y'all? Okay. Right? So Kazi Bear, we'll leave you at the bottom. We'll leave that question at the bottom. If it's really important, you can super chat. But anyway, let's keep moving. Let's stay focused. I got a training at 3:30. That's the most important thing about you, of like your identity. Even the other day, I was at a business meeting. The man's in his 40s. He was talking about how everybody keeps calling him Jamaica. That makes him mad that people call him Jamaican. And we're in the meeting like, why does that even matter? We're talking about real estate and you talking about being Jamaican. Who cares? Right? Like, this is the same thing. I meet a lot of British people when I go Northeast, New York, Massachusetts, and they'll be like, I'm British. And I'll be like, who cares? Right? Like after a certain age, that plays out. That whole game plays out. Now, what do I mean that game plays out? I did a show on Osei Duke Jackson's channel. I don't know how many years this is now, maybe 5, maybe 4. And I had a partnership with a credit repair company, and we had over 600 men sign up. We were not prepared for that. So I had to do a lot of intake calls, and I had to, do a lot of processing and help them, right? I ended up talking to so many people who were like 32 to 34. They were tall and good looking. You look at their driver's license, they was good looking black man. And they had all the same questions. Hey man, I met this girl. Now I got to get my credit right. I got to get a car. I got to get my own place. I'm like, well, where do you live? I live off and on with my grandma, my mama, and them. And it was the craziest stories. That's why when I tell y'all these breakdowns about when people realize me being tall and look like Morris Chestnut, that shit runs dry. That's why people keep trying to go younger, because they're like, maybe some young girl might feel it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe somebody.
So they're going to go destroy the young person? The older women, listen. They say it's somebody out there for everybody, and it's supposed to be 2 more million women. You got to have some kind of motion going on now. I don't mean you have to keep up with the Joneses and whatever else. That's for a particular type of person. But you got to have some motion going on. We've been on here saying, about the basic necessities, but everybody on YouTube has got 6 figures. Not me. I'm broke. Shout out to the 6 foot, 6-pack living in the basement guys.
Else might feel it, and they don't. Right? So you start getting to a point where that's cute, that you're cute. But what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? All right. It starts to get to a point where you're like, that's cute. But what else you got going on? This is why when I was in Texas. I had so many people who were like 32 and they were like blowing our phones up. Hey man, I'm joining the military. Hey man, I'm doing this. Hey, I'm going to go overseas. There's even a famous YouTuber from my hometown who is half Korean, half black. He looked like a black person with Asian features, just light skin. And he moved to Korea. He's like, I'm leaving America and I'm going to Korea. He got over there and he realized quickly, they don't care. You're a hopper. And he ended up getting engaged and married to a girl. What was the girl? She was half Korean, half white. You gotta realize, you thinking that's special, they don't give a damn. They're like, what kind of job do you have? I'm teaching English. That ain't no money. It runs its course. And when you poison people like this by telling them the most special thing about them is who they are, whether it's a black woman, Latino woman, whatever, right? We run around telling Latino women they feisty. Yeah, get it. Like, that's goofy. That's goofy. Now I'm gonna show a couple clips because I like to mix it up and be funny, but I want y'all to understand, like, that can't be the most interesting thing about you. This is why when I say you meet British or Australian people, there's two types. There's one that's traveled all over the world. They don't went to Africa. They don't went to Australia. They don't went here and there because they're British, and British people before them and their grandparents traveled all over Africa. So are they. Cool, exciting, British. Then you have another type of British that came to America and just got an office job and is just glad to be here. And when you talk to them, again, the most exciting thing about them is their accent because they work a regular job just like you. And so I just want people to understand, like, let that go, baby. You can't cheat the game of being interesting in life. I was watching, I shared on a community wall last night, and before I show these clips, it was Ryan.
Let me see.
Come on in.
It's always a treat when players meet.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
What up at Nightish? How's it going, brother?
It's going okay, I guess. Have you been listening in on today's show?
Yeah, it's
we began off with a lady by the name of Reese Peasy, who was into the corn industry. She did it for 5 years. She got out because she was in some kind of car accident, and now her back is messed up. We moved on from that over to Crimson Cure conversation about a young lady who made a lot of bad decisions young and trying to clean.
I couldn't get my joke in because you kept talking, so now her back blown out. I wanted to say it, but I couldn't get any time, so now the joke is ruined. Go ahead, please, sir.
No, it wasn't. You could have got it. You could have got it. Yeah, her back is blown out. And now we're over here with Erica talking about just looks alone and just sex alone and all that stuff right there. Is getting old for people. Dudes not just ready to, be these providers that they be talking about on here, the six-figure, all these women know all these millionaires, and then the other way around is you being 6 foot and having hazel eyes and whatever, gets old when they get cold in the house. More concerned about these bills. I heard some lady say she just gonna have her fun, and when she get old, she gonna marry her an old man. And when he go take his stuff.
Well, it sounds like a game plan. Let's see how it works out for him, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, man, a lot of these women are learning now, especially that these safety nets are starting to erode, the value of a decent gentleman, right? A guy who goes to work every day, brings home some income, tends to fend for the family. He's not 6 foot something. He doesn't make 6 figures, and he probably don't have the other 6 either. But ultimately, though, he suffices for what they need. That value is starting to go up again for those type of men. Now that America, the first world country that it is, with more than abundance of resources, is starting to draw back those resources. So,
do you be treated like her first pick?
Some cases, yeah, but depending on, black women, man, they have delusions of grandeur, right? Like we've been talking about for years, that same 20% of men, they've all been going for it the whole time. I mean, you know what I'm saying? A brother pulls up in a Mustang. He's six something. You know what I'm saying? It appears to have six figures. You know, right? That dude right there is, you know, what I'm saying, premium stock for those women at bars and clubs, right? They all over them. I mean, not just the black women either. Let's be honest, the white women, Latin women like them. That guy right there is just a prize to be had. And what women are finding out is that a lot of that's basically a forçant, right? You know what I'm saying? It's a persona. It's not that real person. Find all these different things about that brother. But that's usually after they messed around with him for a while. And then, you know, secondly, what they're finding out is this guy has multiple women, right? Like me, certain women I don't have any challenges getting. You know what I'm saying? Like women that I know saying that, let's be honest, you know, don't fit the standard of requirement. I could probably get those women relatively easy if I really tried to. But you really don't want those women. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why they single and they stay single, because nobody tends to want those women. And which I'm putting out here now that brothers probably need to start looking at those women too, especially if you're, you know, saying living at a certain standard. You know, saying, you know, I think a lot of guys don't want women who sometimes match their standards, right? You know what I'm saying? The standard lifestyle they live, and she living the exact same lifestyle. She's the exact same girl. She's just a female version of that guy.
Yeah, it's about if she likes you and vice versa. Because tends to be people that have these things, have these standards that go along with them. And that's where the conflict come in at. If she got a list and you got a list, and you talking like Blueface about, well, I'm the man, so, you know, you're supposed to follow my leadership. I'm supposed to be doing better than you. When they saying a lot of times these dudes are not doing better than them. But you said if they come at each other at the same place, yeah, then they start talking, you know, the fantasies that they talk over here about all this hypergamy. They don't want to meet somebody at the same place. Even
No.
Be the best form.
See, a man might even go a level or two up on a woman, right? So say I'm a 6 or a 7 when it comes to men, right? I'm above average when it comes to men. Maybe a 8 in some categories, right? You know what I'm saying? I believe I can get another 8. I could possibly go down to a 5 or 6 at that point. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, ideally, most men are going to shoot for that 9, right? That 10. Not knowing what comes with the 9 and 10, because I've had those before, and those are a whole lot more difficult to deal with, huh?
Isn't it foolish though?
It is kind of. It's kind of about the challenge, right? But you have to get the experience to know. That's how I learned that 9s and 10s are difficult to deal with. You deal with a lot of, I mean, let's be honest. It used to be just the pretty girls had entitled princess syndrome because they had so many dudes for options, right? But what it did was spread across the board because of body positivity, where women who thought, you know what I'm saying, were normally 2s and 3s are now going for 6s and 8s, right? Because in the back of their head, they believe just because they can sleep with a man, that now they have a shot at getting one of those type of men in a long-term committed relationship, which rarely to never happens, right? Every once in a while, one of those guys slip up and put a baby in them, but mostly they're just used for, you know what I'm saying, refurb, right? You know what I'm saying, temporary, you know what I'm saying, rent-a-cars, right?
So that's bad on both sides. I would think, why not go for a 6 if you are 8?
Ryan Pieta, the bald head guy, and this other guy. He's in his 40s. And he's like, yeah, his name is
Hold on, nice. Hold on. I had to get my pizza out of the air fryer. Man, air fryers are dope, bro. I love these air fryers. Yeah, absolutely awesome. But the reason why you would do that is kind of something you know you can maintain, right? Just because you make a certain amount a month, right? If say you make if you're averaging 10, 15K a month, does that mean you automatically go out and get a Mercedes? No. You get something, no saying that you know saying that's not only affordable, but not going to be a heavy burden on you, right?
Pay for it, so I don't have no car notes and none of the other stuff.
Oh, okay. That's it, that too, right?
Used vehicle.
But it's about the comparison example, right? So say I was making 10K a month, right? And I saw this Mercedes, the CS11 I wanted that was, if I wanted to lease it, it'd be 14, 15. But if I wanted to actually just take out a loan on it, it'd be 11 or 12. If I want to pay for cash, it'd be probably about 60, 65 grand, right? So instead, I say, you know what? Let me go look at something else over here, right? I don't want to, be in a $1,200 car note per month and have to maintain that, right? Plus insurance, plus maintenance, plus all that stuff. So, okay, you dip back down to a Lexus, which is probably about a 6, right? You say, okay, I see this new E5, right? This new E550, this new E600, right? Looks good. It's 45K. It's a couple years old. What's my payments on it? It's going to be, let's say for 5 years, let's say $650, $660 a month. Eureka.
Much.
Yeah. Eureka. I've got a quality car that I know is going to last me. I'm not going to have any issues with. And plus, on top of that, everything else is going to be affordable. My insurance is going to be much more affordable. The maintenance is going to be much more affordable. And I have to worry about less, right, with that car. That's the 6. But what's happening is that now the Kia and the 1998 Honda Civics are saying, hey, we want full resale value, right? Blue Book says I'm worth, Blue Book says that it's worth $1,500, but I want what the original asking price was, which was $32,000, and that's where a lot of the issue lies.
You just got to know the numbers. What's going on, Ryan? Yeah, I'm buying a used car. I'm not tripping off all of that other stuff. All I'm gonna be concerned about is gas and insurance. Well, you got to have warranty, insurance, and gas.
Down there said, wait a minute. So you're saying this is just 4% of women? Yeah, it's just 4% of women. So there's a whole 92% of women, 92 to 95% of women who are just going to work, living regular lives, not on OnlyFans, and are okay. Yeah. Then why are you obsessed about this 5% of women? Obsessed, like OnlyFans and people and like he's obsessed. And so they were right. Like if you're an average dude and you go outside and talk to people and touch grass and are interesting, you'll win. The average man in America is 5'9". Let it go. 5'9" and makes $59,000 to $61,000 a year. That is the average. I think the medium average for married men was like $82,000 a year. And people are like, well, when you get married, you got to make more money. It's literally a small percent of women that are on OnlyFans. And the number seems so astronomical and it seems so crazy because men are throwing their paychecks at them. Okay. Just like the other corn industry. Okay. Right. And so you have to understand what's happening. The average person doesn't know numbers. They're walking up to women and they think all these men make 100K and all this crazy stuff. People are now getting a little more awakened and Googling. What is the average dude? Only 17% of men in America make over 100K a year. Now, could more make that? Heck yeah. Does the average married couple make 120 to 140,000? That's the average married couple. That means high performing married couple. Let's be very clear. Now, the number one thing I get from a lot of y'all, well, what about black people, Erica? Again, we got about a 20-25% of black people that are doing the Cosby Show. Highly educated, highly wealthy, over there married, living their life, living in the Northeast, living in the Southwest, and confused on why y'all tripping. We got a 10% that some other creator said this, and I'm agree with him for a second. 10% is doing that Clarence Thomas. I've been to too many Republican Party events, and we got that 10% like racism doesn't exist. They get hit in the head somewhere, and they're like, oh my God, the racism. Right. So then you got another 30% of black people. They're just doing the middle. They're just doing basics. They're kind of working. They picking the kids up from public school and they don't understand. They kind of squished in the middle because of finances and life. Then you got that last 30 to 40%, depending on how you shape it. And they ghetto. They struggling. They poor. They in poverty. They growing dreads, not wash them. They stank. They walk around smell like weed and patchouli. They got a bonnet on at the bus stop. They doing too much. But you'll meet white people and they think that's every black person. So you'll meet white people, be wealthier than them, and they get mad. Do you know how many times I've been in first class planes and people are like, well, did they upgrade you? No, baby, I bought this seat. No, baby, I bought this seat. What are you talking about? Did you? Da 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 da. I remember this black man that's like 6'4", and he flew in first class because he was like the vice president of a big company in California. And he said the countless times people asked him, did he play basketball, drove him so crazy. He was like, how much does it cost for me to get a charter plane and charter all the other places? And the company paid for it. The company paid for it because he was so harassed. Day in and day night going on plays. Y'all do, I can tell you countless ridiculous stories, but because we have this 30 to 40% of black people cutting up, white people make themselves feel better by saying that's all black people. But I'm telling you, if you're a white person and every day you're dealing with poor black people, you are extremely poor. Okay, there are places in literally Maryland that when I drove with my mom and we went to go visit a friend of hers that was military, it was like sergeant major, and his wife was a sergeant major, and they had this giant house. The people at the gate was a black man, was like, what are you doing here? We're like, oh, we're visiting this sergeant major. He was like, let me call them first. And we were dressed appropriately. It was after church on Sunday. And so literally he called him. He's like, oh, my bad. I apologize. You have a great day, ma'am. I just want to make sure. I've just never seen you here before. It's a very small community. And that's why if you're in my inner circle, or if you're in land grab, I'll teach you about why we're building small subdivisions and how. That's why I'm segueing a lot for YouTube a lot, because I already know that's the future. It'll be a few Claire Huxtable black people like, hey, there's only like 10 houses in my neighborhood and a gate at the front. How you getting here? Who are you? What are you doing here? Right? When all these white people go online talking about there's no safe black neighborhoods, that means you're a poor white person. That's what that means.
Money Talk with Erica Williams.
I mean, if you talk about 2 to 5% of women are on OnlyFans, we're talking about out of 250 million women, that's a little over a million or a little bit over 2.5 million women on OnlyFans, which seems like a ridiculously high number for that, right? Extremely high number. Well, I guess it is what it is.
But if you say that number, let me see. That's all women now, right?
Yeah, across the board.
Okay, yeah. I wonder if the white girl OnlyFans is big as the other nationalities, because we tend to see like more of the Latin OnlyFans ones being sought after and talked about. I rarely see the sisters OnlyFans people that get touted about. But
because ain't nobody subscribing to them unless they have a name. Nobody wants to see Sister Girl. They are rarely available on any street corner. You know, you want something exotic, right? Latin's exotic, Asian's exotic. Like I can see a lot of Latin and Asian women making money, but let's not get it twisted. White women are still the preferred women throughout the world, right? So you would think they would probably have the largest number of women on OnlyFans, because since that's the largest potential to make money for them doing that type of work.
So everybody got choices. What choice do you make?
And you're confused because you thought you were special because you were white. You're learning. You're learning. What we're learning from Trump administration is who you know and how much money you make. All right. Let me show you a couple of these because I want to laugh and we got to break it up. This is a prime example. People learning they're not special. Let's go with this one first. Hope y'all, it's a joke. I know the Dominicans have been messaging our staff. Get over it.
I'm black.
Wait, what?
What happened?
ICE, immigration. Are you Dominican?
I'm not Dominican. Fine. I'm black.
Dude, it's always the music in the videos. So hopefully that Dominican song is not, didn't play too long.
Just like bawling my eyes out. From that point on, I lived with my grandma. And so I fucking hated women.
for years because of that. And it's not like I intentionally hated women, but I was so fucking mad at my mom. And I think when you have unresolved trauma with your mom and you're fucking angry with your mom, you have unresolved trauma with feminine energy. Like your mom is the first female that you see when you come into this world. And so if you hate the first female that you see when you come into this world, how do you think you're going to treat other females in the world if your core person that you're supposed to love the most, you have a negative relationship with? So I just sabotaged every relationship in my life because of that. Harboring anger towards someone else is only a poison that affects you. Where I'm at right now with my mom, I've forgiven her in the sense that for me to hate her is like me hoping that my anger affects her, but it's just like this fucking poison that just eats me alive. When I was 8 years old, my mom kicked me out of my house.
Okay, now listen, there have been several men who've come and said this. Who this ain't the only one. He's just, again, when I start seeing black dudes and they like blow dry their hair to make a box, when they be blow drying their hair, I already know what time it is. Maybe your beard is patchy. You have hamburger meat, taco meat on your chest. Why are you blow drying your hair? What are you doing? This is why I always tell people, who the hand that rocks the cradle determines the culture. If your mama is white and she not nice to you, oh my God. Oh, you go crazy. I literally went to school with a young man. He had he was putting Rogaine on his hair. He had like a texturizer in his hair. He lived with his grandma. He lived in the basement. Y'all, we don't have that many basements in North Carolina. I want to clarify that first. This ain't like up north. It's rare for a house to have a basement, but they had a big, beautiful luxury house that was on a sloped hill. And he lived in the basement. He was like, you guys can come over and hang out at the basement. And we go to his house and we realize they got this kid in a basement. When we got older, when we went to college, he was telling us how he was so glad to leave because they had him in the basement and his auntie called him the N-word and he didn't think about it because he was an 8-year-old kid. Y'all, there's a lot more stories like this. That's why when y'all be making these Jalens, I'll be like, please help the Jalens. Please don't.
Who is the Jalens? They got those languages again.
I'm going to say it. I'll call it. I guess he's talking about the mulattoes, right? Like us, I guess, the light-skinned folk. I think that's a huge misconception in those circumstances, right? I think a lot of people blame their parents for their own shortcomings and failures when they've had ample opportunity to make better choices. But since they made bad choices, they keep using that, saying emotional sponge of my parents did this and did that when your parents did the best they could for you, right? They're not perfect people either. The ones who figure that out early and move on tend to do better in life versus the ones who keep constantly blaming their parents for everything that they've ever done wrong. My dad, my mom, my sisters, just whining and crying about, oh, this happened to me and that happened to me. In reality, and even then, in reality, if you ever talk to some of these people's parents for real, it didn't happen that way, right? Now, she might have been a single mother and unable to basically raise a boy because you at 8 or 9 years old, you had too much energy for her, right? And by 11, 12 years old, you were taller than she was. You were bigger than she was. So that's one of the inadequacies of being a single mom in the circumstance, right? That's why you need both parties. I mean, believe it or not, you know what I'm saying? The same brother's been knocking up the sisters, been knocking up a lot of these other women too, right? They tend to get away with it. They're preferred for some odd reason. This is what women want. And so this is what we end up with, a society full of degenerate children who tend to want to blame everything on everyone else.
So let's look up this person. Let me go out here. Is this the one that says pause, pause, pause?
No, that's Jalen the Winnebago.
She's saying Wendigo.
Yeah.
So got a weird looking monster. And then this one ain't him either. I forget, dude. Let me see. And since he stopped going on Sharon, I don't even really see him no more. So okay.
Yeah, man. These women bullied Jalen off of YouTube. The mob bullied Jalen off of YouTube, man. Jalen was actually pretty good entertainment on the panels. Funny, right? Something else a little different. Now, a little odd, but still strange. But you could tell it was more him being a persona and acting to the point where, people start, especially on those smoke shows or whatever. The first person everyone would go for would be Jalen because he's the easiest target and he's the one least less to respond in a certain way, right? Versus somebody else or cause any damage reputationally. And we know how folks is, man. Want to grandstand like children, you know what I'm saying? But it is
Yeah.
what it is. It is what it is.
Other side of the game. Let me see. Yeah, you don't even see him. I used to see his shorts every now and then, but I don't remember his last name. Let's get back to Erica. Shorty got low. Yeah, Sam, we know who you're talking about, but we just don't see him in shorts and stuff no more.
Kids, because if you can see all kind of naked people on your phone, don't you think they can? Come on, man. Let me play this and keep it moving. Hold on. Language of the poor is dangerous, y'all. It's dangerous. If you let these poor people talk too loudly, it's dangerous.
Something along these lines, which is like, not everyone can do this. If everyone were rich, then society would cease to function. They go to these extreme lengths and they go, well, you can't expect everybody. And look, we're not even close to everybody. We're at like a 1 to 5% max of society is now functioning at a high level. We're not even close to everybody. Their immediate knee-jerk reaction, you can't expect everybody to be the top. You can't expect everybody to be rich. We're so far away from those metrics. I don't even know where they're getting this. And it reminds me of my mom. When my mom was raising me, she would always say to me, Donna, why are you always comparing yourself to the worst? Because I'd be like, well, I have really bad grades. And that's okay because like the majority of people have bad grades. And my mom's like, why are you always comparing yourself to like the worst people? Why are you not comparing yourself to the best people? And I don't like raising kids with this obsession over comparison, but she does have a point, which is like, why are you always comparing yourself to the worst? Why don't you look at the people that are doing well and actually learn from them instead of vilifying, well, if everybody was well off, then we'd cease to, then who would do all the work? Like, what does that have to do with anything? That's just like saying, well, if everyone had $1 million, then $1 million wouldn't mean anything, but we're not even close to that. Like the metrics that we have in this society where barely people can barely scrounge together $1,000 in a case of emergency. That's like the 95% of the American population right now. Our numbers are so far out of whack, and yet people are still resorting to the whole, well, if everybody was rich, then we'd all be the same level. It's like, we're just so far. I don't even know what that's called. Like, what is that actually called? There's got to be a clinical psychological phrase for that.
Yeah. If you have just like a regular job and maybe some other income from something else, like a landlord, like a YouTube channel, you should be at least close to I would say what, 70 a year, 75. And that's without even having to do a whole lot of crazy something. But the interesting thing is when they talk about all these entry level jobs. And they don't be entry level. They be talking about they want you to have at least 2 years in said job. But an entry level job is going to pay you somewhere about maybe $3,500 a month versus nothing.
I'll say this. I think a lot of people are delusional, right? I think if you're realistic with yourself about what you can achieve and where you're at that particular point in time, you can actually get something done. I think a lot of people are just simply mimicking people they think that have money, right? And Facebook pictures, trying to tap into that same gravy train. You see it all the time on YouTube, right? Remember before Tasha K, there was the other controversial chick. I forgot her name. She didn't have no education. She just came up here spilling dirt, and she started getting rich off of it. You know what I'm saying? Because she just was able to keep digging dirt up from on other people. That, you know what I'm saying? That went on for some years, and then Tasha and all them people came on board. And then from there, you know what I'm saying, everybody else started doing it, right? I think people just want to mimic. You sound low, brother.
Let me see. Let me go right over here. Now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, yeah. Well, are you talking about Princella?
Possibly, yeah. But before Prince, this was back when I first started watching YouTube. We're talking about in 2016, 2017, right?
So we had Shira 7, we had Chrislyn Kerrison, we had who else? Cynthia G, Kendra G been around for a minute too. I don't know. They all say interesting things though.
But let's be honest. If it weren't for not this platform being free for people, right? Plus a StreamYard, and you being attract mass audiences due to the things that you're saying, what would these people be doing in real life?
That I don't know.
Walmart.
That's about 3,500 a month, right?
Something like that.
Yep. All those entry level jobs.
Exactly.
And that's where you're gonna have to have a partner because you're gonna have to pool your resources.
Exactly.
That's why when I hear these people come up here talk like they finna be the next man or they already got 6 figure, I'm like, you're saying you're like 17%? I don't believe you. And then you don't necessarily have to have this super large following. You just need to have a consistent following. And it's amazing the difference that being monetized versus being non-monetized make. People don't realize how them fives add up when you get the super chat. Come the 21st, it'll be a couple dollars. 6 the Goddess. Oh, so it was 6 the Goddess. It was Courtney Michelle. It was Danica Marie. Who else is back there? B Taylor. Something Green. There was a lot of them back there. And there was a gossip lady. There's so many of them. I don't know about the YouTube beginning. Let's see.
You know how people built back in the days? You know how a lot of these people who have money now from generational wealth have that generational wealth?
Because the village was there? Because it would be a generational living. So my grandmother lived in a house, my uncle lived in a house, my mom, us. So it was multiple incomes in there.
That's a part of the fact, but they weren't making a lot of money either back then. They were making, you know what I'm saying, what we probably would kind of call like nickels, literally pennies, nickels, and dimes. And they kept saving that money, taking it to the bank, letting it grow interest, kept taking it to the bank. You know what I'm saying? They got beyond themselves and more about family.
Yeah.
Having visions of the future, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants to live in luxury right now.
Yeah, that's not how it works.
No, it's not.
You got to build up. They have what you used to call a starter home. That would be a little bitty place. And then you want to get some equity in that, and over time, everybody want to skip the line. And then, when you get into these times where it's kind of chaotic and wild and the money is funny and a lot of people is skirmishing, this answer is the same. You need a group of people. I'm looking at people that's, tiny people in a big old house. Why do you need all that space? Why don't you got that whole thing packed up with as many people as possible to cut your expenses? A lot of people rent apartments and stuff and then rent them out because it's cheaper. You can charge a person more if you can turn it into an Airbnb, and a lot of people do that. I don't know what the laws is now, but they always talking about subject to stuff, or coming into other people's places and renting them out and charging more.
I would think the same thing, Nice. I mean, I'm a single dude. What would I do in a 7-bedroom, 7-bathroom house by myself? You know what I'm saying? No wife, no kids.
Exactly.
I mean, what's that? You know what I'm saying? What's that going to, I mean, if anything, gonna be more, I put it gonna be a lot more, how you say it, spooked out, paranoid, because I would think every little sound in that house is gonna wake me up. Because I've always got that thing in the back of my head that I didn't lock this door or close that, or I didn't do this. Even with cameras, right? Anything you see moving outside going to mess with you.
Yeah, you're supposed to have that filled up with the people that can get along, and everybody pooling their resources, and over time expanding, moving out, growing family, moving out.
Exactly. Wife and kids, right? And then your mama and her mama live in the same house for the kids. You might have a couple aunties up in there, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That way, that's a village. Not the dude down the street, not the dude 2 blocks away. The village is usually in the home itself, right?
Yeah.
It says take a village to raise
Multi-generational home. Yes.
Exactly.
So you be having maybe a SSI check, your check, your wife check, the kids is working, everybody's contributing something while saving.
Exactly.
Really
Ain't nothing wrong with having
tough.
good neighbors. Ain't nothing wrong with having good neighbors, but you're not supposed to have your neighbors in your business life. That's a detriment.
Let's see.
Why are you 30 plus looking for young hoes? Go with your age group. Okay. You're not with your age group because you know you're corny. She said it, not me.
Ladies, your internet big sisters and aunties are proud of you because a lot of these men are predatory. They're hoping that your frontal lobe hasn't fully developed and that they could take advantage. They like to see you like a young woman because they don't have all that baggage. But by baggage, they mean experience. They hope that you're unfamiliar with their game, their techniques, their tactics that they've all learned in Red Pill podcasts. She's absolutely right. The women their age aren't usually impressed by what they have to offer. They like those young women because all you have to do is have more than.
I don't want to have to impress nobody. We
I'm
both
going to be that's just them poisoning the well again. See, this is what I'm talking about. The older women who are phasing out, you know, saying the ones that brothers are saying, okay, can you offer me a family now that I've got myself in a better financial position? I'm looking for a family now. You know what I'm saying? They can't offer you that. They can offer you, it's almost like a pretty sex doll, right? That's got a lot of attitude, you know what I'm saying? A lot of immaturity, and still has that entitled princess syndrome at 40 something years old. You know what I'm saying? And probably with kids, you know what I'm saying? She's probably felling through life, you know what I'm saying? Barely getting by, scraping or whatever. You know, like I said, safety nets are drying up. So she's looking for a man to help take care of her. And I always suggest to women this: if you're in your 40s, you need a man in your 50s. You know what I'm saying? You need a man in his 60s, right? Because that's the only type of guy who's going to say, okay, I've lived enough life where I can go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, focus in on helping you complete this out as a good gesture of kindness right on the way out the door. A man is.
I'm not trying to do that.
So when older men, especially in this day and age, because let's be honest, even women in their 20s now and 30s are waking up that, hey, I'm not going to have any security in the next 4 or 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Do I want to continue working for the next 20, 30 years? Or do I want to team up with somebody who's already established enough, right? To you know what I'm saying, project me into a better future. You know what I'm saying? How am I going? Do I have a house? Am I going to have a house before I'm 40? Right? A lot of women are thinking I need some equity now. I need something else in life, right? Besides just these, you know what I'm saying, this kind of dopamine hit, you know? So I'm meeting a lot of women right now, and like they late 20s. I met a girl a couple of days ago. She's 27 years old, man. I told her how old I was. She said, that's cool. She said, I date older men anyway. I said, straight. I said, that's great. She said, when can we go out? She said, next weekend. You know what I'm saying? So it's even the young.
How you think that's going to work out the 27-year-old?
I told you, man, I was with a chick that was 24 years old for 4 years.
Yeah, I can't see myself doing it. Too
But
much age gap for me.
depends. It's not about the age of both adults at that point. What really matters is the maturity of the woman, right? Because I've met some highly mature women who are in their late 20s, early 30s. I met some really immature women in their 40s.
Yeah, I'm trying to meet somebody that is mature in their 40s and is reasonable. I can't go for the drama. Life a little too comfortable to turn into, arguing and whatever energy somebody got at that age. But
I'll say this, Nightish. I've met more women who are childish and immature with children and nothing to offer in their 40s than I met women in their 20s who had at least a higher upside, right?
but
It's the development, man. It's the development. You got some women who were raised on decades and decades and decades of Destiny's Child, right? Versus others who may have listened to Destiny Child, but they was 2 or 3 years old when that stuff came out, and they really haven't, focused in on that. That didn't become part of their ecosystem, right? Per se. So they view things a lot different. You know, they don't carry that same kind of pain, like she said, baggage with that 40 something's been through, that trauma that 40 something's been through with men because she's made bad choices the whole time. Now you got to be the one who fixes that on the back end, right? So you got to sacrifice not only what you want to do in your life, but you also, got to give her, whatever you've earned. And at the
no.
end of the day, with nothing to show for it. Yeah. You get nothing, then they get everything. No. Don't. I don't perceive that being a fair trade. Right? A good deal.
Them. If you're still young enough to still be living home with your parents, they got their own place, so you may find that impressive. You're taking the bus, so you think a man having a car may be impressive. You're still a college student, so most of the guys your age can't afford to take you to a nice restaurant, but he can. They often pursue younger women because they don't want to try as hard. And the women their age have everything they have and more. That man is 10 or 20 years older than you, and he only has a little more than you do. That man is a failure to the women his age. This man says, wait until she's in her 30s and 40s. I hope she keep that same energy because I can guarantee when you're at that age, the guys around you at that age won't want you because you have already been ran through, and that's just the reality. Accept it or not. Talk to your mom about it. It's life. When they get desperate or backed into a corner, they always use the same tactic. They try to make it seem like, well, there's going to be one day where he's going to be up and you're going to be down and you're going to wish that you chose him. It's always the ones who peaked in high school, the ones whose best days are behind them, not in front of them. They want you to put your future in their hands. I don't care if you were the football captain 26 years ago. It's 2026. What can you do for her now?
She's talking pretty fast.
Because she means it from the heart. She really means that. She sounds like she's more scared than they are. You know what I'm saying? I can hear the fear in her voice. She probably a 40 something, single.
You think that lady was 40? I can never really tell.
She looked like she's taking about 700 O2s of oxygen with that nose. And she got wide nose, nigga. She looked like she hairstyle, Nike cap, face kind of structure. She got a ton of makeup on, weave in. Yeah, she looked 40-ish, or at least close to it.
Yes, I would want somebody that's a little bit more calm, not so, on the defense.
If you're in my Middleman of Millions training, we're going to talk about it today. I think it's on the list of things where you're getting some of these certifications and you're making 80K out the gate. Even in the certifications, like 4 to 6 classes, y'all. Some of them are two-day trainings and you're making 50 to 80K a year. Again, there isn't a moment where a lot of these people, I call them what I call them. I'm going to just tell you what I call them. I call them white boy slide through the door careers. Come on through, white boy, slide through this door and come get this 100K year job. And nobody can challenge us on the meritocracy of you getting this job because you have a certificate. You have a certificate.
So construction management instead of generic business degree. You learn how buildings are actually built, scheduling projects, managing subcontractors, reading plans. Yeah. If you can physically go out there, yeah, that's one to go grab.
Huh.
Now, Kenny,
Because I didn't think anything in construction paid over 80K except for supervisory roles. But give me a second here. What's the name of that again? Constructional management?
Yeah. Kenny NYC.
Okay, that's more like it. So pay varies experience, right? So experience goes into this, who you know and all that good jazz. But typically entry level starts out about 55K a year. So that makes sense. Which is still enough for a single guy in his 20s. That's decent for a single guy in his 20s, you know? Right?
Yeah, if he can save. If he knows to sacrifice early. If you do all, the basic, work out, eat well, make sure your health is up, and save. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. Don't try to take her to Fogo the child every 2 seconds. A Nobu. You should be having something that's like a $70 date. And that's 35 for her and 35 for you. Hopefully you don't drink. Drinking to get you.
You know what I learned, Nightish? You know the best career move a young man can make? Getting married early. Married men tend to make over, per position, married men will make over, I think, 10 or 11,000 more than single men do in those same positions.
Mm-hmm.
Because they can sell that up, right? They tend to keep those positions longer too, because management sees the investment and knows that this guy's more stable long term because he has something to lose versus a single person. So if you get married early, it will propel your career long term. But a lot of brothers, we overlook that too early on. I think that's bad advice when people say, get your education, get your education, get your education. Nightish, I learned that most of the people, especially in engineering and IT and development and all that stuff, most of those guys don't have degrees. The ones that make money, a lot of these guys who own a lot of these businesses didn't have degrees when they started that business. The business happened to be successful.
They
Yeah,
say C students with A students working for them.
exactly. So I mean, there's lots of lessons to be taught in business, and we were sold a bill of goods for years by get your education, get your education, get your education. Only thing you did was become the most enrolled, right, and the least horrible in a lot of cases. Even if you got the degree out of the deal, I got a degree of, I'm saying, 2 out of the deal. I'll say that. Even then, what I learned is that the guys who were getting certifications were the ones really making the money, right, in my field. So I geared towards certs after that. I learned that it's much better to get certifications in IT than it is degrees, right? That degree, if you're in business management, that might help you a lot to find business related IT stable positions, right? But I mean, even if you're going through project management, you know what I'm saying? That's more of a certification, right? If you work in the cloud, that's more certification based stuff. If you work on prem, that's more certification based stuff. That's where the money is. Versus cats with degrees. I had cats working under me with a master's degree, man. You know what I'm saying? And he was a younger cat, but it's like you got a whole master's degree, you know what I'm saying? And you making $46,000 a year. Like, yeah.
Some of these people, Stanley, are from the manosphere. Some of these people are red pill. I'm not. So when we hear this stuff, it may sound familiar and whatever else because you're probably talking to somebody that's a manosphere or red pill or one of those things. I'm just not. And I'm not super duper liberal, but I wouldn't say I'm super duper conservative. All this is less true given AI. You think AI is going to take all those certification jobs away? Lord ADS is eating right now, y'all.
Well, I think Stanley's a little off on that, right? What AI has been doing is taking away duplicate positions. So imagine if you work for a company, right? And you got 40 people working in customer service, and they're all doing the same role, right?
Yeah.
20 of those people were eliminated from customer service, those entry level positions, because AI took hold. The same thing goes in for years. Remember, with construction and with Ford and different assembly plants, they've been replaced by AI back in 2010, 2011. They started that replacement then. That's why so many jobs, quote unquote, were lost. It wasn't because they actually moved overseas, it's because of those plants, right? They started setting up the assembly lines with basically automated machines, with automation. So when it comes to certain positions, they're more secure than others with AI. But eventually, there's only one position that's really stable, that's right now irreplaceable, but will likely be replaced in the next 50 to 100 years, which is medical-based positions, right? The medical field is probably the safest, most stable field because they're still going to be they're still going to need basically adequate human interaction with other human beings, right? But
Yeah.
as far
Go ahead.
But as far as where I work in IT, I work for a pretty large company. Your position is stable, but you have to keep training, keep growing, and keep building, right? It's very competitive because there are lots of people who want your position. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have to keep kind of climbing, right? Or at least bettering yourself as you go along. If you sit there and get stagnant, it can come back and bite you. So you have to be really careful of that stuff.
And Stanley, I know you're talking about me and Lord ADS. I am not Red Pill or Manosphere. So I don't know what you hear that I said it sounds like that. A lot of people that I hear that's the Red Pill and Manosphere want to knock women back into caveman days. They shouldn't be able to vote. You hear them? You hear me talking about taking away women's rights?
And who says it's true because Stanley says it's true? I don't think
Well,
Stanley knows as much as he gives on about AI. I think he's taking probably one of those little YouTube classes, you know, the ones that get you that $30 cert. And then he's up here explaining to us how AI quote unquote works. I take that, put it this way, I see it every day. You still training, son. You're still training, son. You're underneath my boots. You know, if you were adequate enough, you've been taking it, right? You've been and got the job already, but obviously you're still training and learning. So why don't you sit back and learn something, son?
Oh, I think he's military.
I know he's military. That's why I'm picking at him.
Yeah, so he has all his military savings and whatever else.
Oh, Stanley's set for life either way. I mean, he doesn't say it, but that brother, put it this way, if he retired as a military officer, he don't have to ever work again. You don't ever have to do that. That's one of the best things about that.
Yeah, so yeah, you don't hear me doing that, Stanley. You don't really hear me talking about who people sleep with like that. I don't care. I'm not trying to take nobody back to the 50s. I don't care. I'm not trying to date nobody too much younger than me. I don't do any of those talking points. But you will hear people up here with me talking about whatever because they are stone cold pressed to that. You know who the people are to do that. I don't really talk about relationships like that. I'll talk more so about individualistic people that have these like childlike minds that you say I have. I don't think I have a childlike mind. I just think most of my stuff I did construction, so it was physical labor. And now I'm just old. So the joints swell up. hands swell up. And it's all, don't eat this, don't drink this, don't do this, don't do that. So it is what it is. No, I don't really talk about women's roles either. What am I saying about a woman's role? All I did was listen to the woman talk about being a prostitute. And I listened to these people that's getting into, not getting into, that are in these high positions and talking about how to support prostitutes. They're not just saying women, they're straight up saying, how can we make the alphabet community and prostitutes and these other, whatever they call themselves, more comfortable? So when I play these like things where it's a doctor, a lawyer, some powerful women sitting around talking with a bunch of women about how to get more power. That's not I guess you could say that's their role, but I'm not saying what their role should be. And yes, I couldn't imagine talking to a 27-year-old. So when people suggest, well, you said something to somebody who was 29, yeah, that's 29. I'm just saying something to. I'm not messing with a 29-year-old. I'm not trying to have no heart attack. I'm realistic with myself. Probably gonna mess with some older lady that hopefully is not damaged, as we all have some different version of that going on. And as Don just said, somebody that likes you.
And there's a lot of kind of racist videos because safety manager is an easy certificate. It's not the easiest. Let me be careful how I say this, but it's an easy certificate. So it's just a joke video, but you see it.
Bitch ass nigga, you can miss me with the whole ass shenanigans. Wait. What a nigga got to tell me? How the fuck is you gonna tell me about the shit you?
I had to stop it. I forgot I had a lot of cussing in it. One of y'all sent this to me and it was funny. But literally, safety manager just like, hey man, be careful next time, or here's your write-up for being, we saw this at the job site today. Again, they hate this. They hate this job, but it pays well. It pays well. I saw a video of all these black people in the oil rigs making money. I was like, damn, what is the job they do? And it was a bunch of safety managers, and white men was in the comments like, they get on my nerves telling us what to do and how to be safe. They don't know our job. And I started laughing. I was like, damn, is it that bad? But apparently it is. Apparently it is. They don't like you telling them their job. Let me play this one for y'all.
Six, getting out of college in the spring, that is painful. Even the people that are 2 years out, just learning that the corporate ladder is kind of a waste of time and there's no guarantees, and also the 1950s where they're going to rub your back if you rub theirs. Yeah, you're learning that one too, aren't you? That's kind of brutal. So you might as well get used to the 45 grand you're making right now and start learning about how to make some side money. And talking about side money, you're probably sick of the gurus saying that you should do that, but you also know that it's the only way out. And do I have a solution for you? Subscription-based real estate, not really any experience needed because most people in the industry, they're kind of dumb anyways. So you could probably come in yourself and crush it. Yeah, so the internet stole your girl and now AI is about to take your job. That's crazy.
Stanley. Martha Stewart, Gilbert Arenas. Yeesh. Let's get back over to the channel. Just a convo. Do you know who that is on the avatar, Stanley? That is Yamanika Saunders. Okay, what is this? Look, Stanley. My goodness, my brother. Let me see. Replace. Is it up there now? It is not. Okay. Anyway. Who all was in the Regulars? Why is this not blue? No, I don't know why it's not.
Did Stanley say you wear a thong, nice?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
He was trying to talk freaky. He does that sometime. Have you not heard him?
No. I've always heard Stanley as an upstanding man. He believes in his truth, and all that matters to him.
His truth is crazy.
But he's always made himself respectable. I've never heard Stan talk sexual to another man, at least. So
He told Mike 123 to do something with John Galt's secretions, and that it was the sweeter kind. How he knows what it, the flavor, beyond me. Let me see.
that is a good question. I mean, if you can name that specifically sweet, that means that you potentially have tasted it, right? The only way you would know.
It's crazy. Is he talking to me from two different sites? Wait, what's happening right here? He has a wrench plate and he's not blue for some reason. Anyway. He's over there looking at, some questionable looking ladies. You can't tell if it's a lady or whatever. And he's just agreeing while he just sloshes himself with Coors Light. Look at him. Look how easily I can get him in his feelings. Stanley.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser! Good.
Let me see.
And that ghetto dick. I think dick is life.
Nah, I got you in your feelings.
Shout out to Stanley. Let me see. Let's take that down. Yes, y'all. We've been here 2.5 hours. Hopefully y'all hit the like button. Let's see if that happened. Refresh. We got 14 likes. I guess that's good enough. Thank you for the 14 likes. Thank you for the subscription Please hit that subscribe button if you are not subscribed. I think we're going to hear if Lord ADS has any last words, and we're going to let y'all listen to our good friend Aaron Hall.
My last words would be, I want everyone to have an exceptionally blessed evening,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone have a pleasant rest of their day. Thank you for having me up, Nadish.
Always. And you know what my thing is? I say, be great.
We'll shut this motherfucker down.
That's all, folks.